right, welcome back. I'm Dylan Black, and she is with us right now, Kim Burnett. She's a photographer, and she has a company celebrating 1 year in existence, which is exciting, and it's Kids at Play Photography. Kim, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Great to have you. And you were part of the Rogers family, too, because you used to work here.
I did, about 15 years ago.
Was it weird driving back in here?
Taking the bus back in here.
Taking the bus back. You drove the bus in here? Okay, good. Kim, tell us about this 1 year. Congratulations for starters.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I started the business at the encouragement of friends and family. I had been photographing children for several years, mostly my nieces. I had about 50,000 photographs of my nieces.
Wow, all on your phone, right?
That's right, no. Yeah. So at the time I had what's called a crop sensor camera, a digital SLR camera. I now have a full sensor, which is a professional grade camera.
Yeah.
And I enjoy photographing children so much, and the more friends I photographed and the more they loved the photos, the more I wanted to do it for more people.
Okay. Now I love, so you send us these notes in advance, and I pinpointed a couple of words that you've used. Documentary photography. Right. What exactly does that mean? Because that's very unique sounding.
Yes. So there's a style of photography people call documentary family photography. Mm-hmm. It's modeled after documentary photography, where people go out into war zones or wherever to document what's going on in the actuality of what's happening. So there's zero intervention. Mm-hmm. Some people are very strict about that. I classify myself as lifestyle / documentary. I like things to be as natural as possible. Mm-hmm. But I'm not so rigid that I won't add light if I think it's necessary to get everybody in focus or more people in focus, or I might stop what's happening in the moment and ask people to rewind just a little bit or to do something again because I didn't get the photograph. Okay. So I'm not strict on documentary style, that I would never intervene or miss a moment and let it go.
That's interesting. Now I know you brought a pile of your photos with you as well, so we're going to pull some of them up here, and we'll have a look, and okay, you can describe exactly what we've got going on here.
Sure. So the first set that I have here is a photo shoot I did actually just last weekend. And so if we go through the first, I think, 5 or 6 photos, we can kind of cycle through them. You can see these are all, so here we've got a very natural interaction. The baby started crying. In this one, the older sibling, the 2-year-old, it was very difficult to get her to lie down with her sister, and finally we sort of managed to get this moment. It's a little more cropped in than I would like, but I shoot in manual, and so I was left with what was there.
How many photos did it take till you got that gem?
I take a lot of photos, for a variety of reasons, and so the little sister, she was just reading her book, and then this is the newborn baby who is the star of the show. And then next is a little moment between mother and the baby that I captured, where the mom was actually trying to show the sister. We were trying to prompt the sister. So this is where a 2-year-old documentary style is difficult to capture everything. And so we try to prompt them a little bit, but not too much. Because what happens is if you push children too much to do something that they don't really want to do, they get miserable.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And so one of my approaches is actually to try to keep things as relaxed as possible. The other thing that happens is if you try to push kids to do something they don't want to do, and then the family starts to get stressed, and you see the stress in the parents' faces. So that first photograph, we went through it a little quickly, but you can see the parents are really relaxed because I suggested we just let the 2-year-old play for a little while. And then at a certain point she started to get interested in what was happening in the room. I asked her if she wanted to come take a picture with her mommy and daddy and her sister.
Wonderful.
And then I would prompt her and say, do you want to see the picture afterwards?
Oh, that's good.
And so she gets really excited about that. So that's one of the tools I use to kind of get kids to go in and participate.
We have another set of photos as well? Okay.
So these are the kids at play. So these are kids being kids. This is just at a little splash pad. He was about 18 months at this time. If we can go to the next one, this is my friend's son, and he is an amazing drummer. He's 7 years old here. He plays AC/DC, and so I went to his lesson, and I photographed him doing what he does. So I might just follow kids having fun. This is my niece. Yeah. She likes to steal my sunglasses, and she's just having a blast on the swing. In this photo, I would get quite low on the ground to capture that background. These are, again, my nieces playing in my apartment. This is something they would always do. They'd come over, they'd grab the musical instruments, and they'd sit and play. And so that's a real moment between the two of them. And then my older niece, in this, you know, it's, Kids at Play are not always active. This is very much hers. She finds the pocket of light on the comfortable part of the couch and reads her book. This little girl, she gets up to the piano and she starts playing, and so I just captured this moment with the Christmas tree. And this young girl is 9. She looks like she's 14, takes ballet very seriously. So when I had a family photo shoot with them, she put on her ballet clothes for a brief spell to.
That's incredible. And
so here we'll get into portraits. And so this shifted into a portrait of the 2 sisters when the younger one kind of came over. And when I do portraits with kids, we can keep going through them. I try to catch more natural. I usually just either, in this instance, it's just a 2-year-old playing, but I try to talk to kids and just have a conversation with them and pull up that natural face instead of that forced smile.
That's incredible. So we are out of time, but I mean,
sure.
I think people should get in contact with you because your photos are amazing.
Thank
that's
you.
Gorgeous stuff, black and white in color. Best way to get a hold of you?
If you go to my website, kidsatplayphoto.com, you can have a contact option there, so it'll send a form email to me.
Kim Burnett, photographer, beautiful stuff. Thank you. Congratulations on 1 year in business.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for being here. We're going to find out more about Escape to Great, helping out some kids in our community next on Daytime.